דיברנו with her.
איתה.
Yeah, איתה. That's right. אנחנו דיברנו איתה. Okay. Alright. Oh, we gotta hurry up. There's so many more sentences to go through. Here's another one. Number 3. I feel like this pen is like losing ink.
I might have a dry erase in my bag if you need it.
I have another one, but they're thinner.
Here's a blue thing. It helps.
It's, oh yeah? How did you just pull that out
That's
of
my
nowhere?
work bag.
Okay.
I don't have it, but it's in.
Oh, it's a nice. This is
Okay.
it's so luxurious.
Enjoy.
Okay. Okay, this is what we're gonna do this time. Use the computer. Alright, let me write it first. And then we're gonna. Okay. Okay. Anybody wanna take a stab at reading this one? This is one of the mind-boggling ones, the head-spinning ones from last time, okay?
תשתמש במחשב.
Yeah, תשתמש במחשב, use the computer. Imagine a scenario where you're doing some kind of assignment and you're writing it by hand, and then someone comes, your friend comes over to you and says, the computer is right there, why aren't you using the computer? I just came up with this in my head. I had to use something from bed. And I want to show you the example of that. So this verb is the hitpa'el verb. The root here, let's break it down completely. I want to break it down. So the root here is shin, mem, shin. Okay, this is the root.
It's very timely. for
Yeah, I
this
know.
day of
Does
the
that remind you of anything? Shamash, right? When you like the Hanukkah? Okay, so that means, what does it mean? We know that's like the servant, right? Shamash is a servant, the one who's like, right? The one who's doing things for you, right? So from that same root of doing, using, right? Serving, using, we got the word to use, lehishtamesh, right? Which would be like, let's say, it would be like this, lehit shamesh, but we know that that's wrong because whenever you have a shin, in the beginning they switch places, right? So that's what happens. So it becomes lehishtamesh. Lehishtamesh. That's the infinitive, to use. Lehishtamesh. And when you say to use something, in Hebrew we say be. Lehishtamesh be. Right? We use this preposition with it. So whatever you're using, you put be before it. That's an example of doing something with something. with the meaning be, like using it, right? So, lishtamesh be, so that's why you have the be here, right? And machshev is the word for computer. Okay? The root there is chet, shin, bet, which is hashav, which is think, lachshov, choshev, thinking. So machshev is like the device that thinks for you, or right? Lechashev, which is the PL version. So past tense would be hu chishev, means count, or means calculate, like mathematically to calculate. So from the word to calculate, we get machshev, the computer that calculates for you. The calculator is called machshavon, which is like a small computer. Machshev, machshavon. It's like you know, whatever, like the ito ending, you know, the little one. So tishtam. So now, how do we get the form tishtamesh? Right? We had lehishtamesh is the infinitive, to do, to use. So present tense would be mishtamesh. Past tense would be hishtamesh, right? This is tishtamesh. That was exactly what we saw, the future tense, right? Which is the ata form, right? If I said I'm using, I will use in the future, I'd say eshtamesh. But because this is ata tishtamesh, right? Now you use that same form, also you can use that for the imperative, right? There's another form for the imperative, there's the official imperative, if you look at those verb charts I gave you last time. But the colloquial imperative is just the same as the future tense, in most cases, for most of the verbs. You're basically just using the future form of ata, okay? And that's what is tishtamesh. So that, I think we broke this one down, right? Tishtamesh b'machshev. Use tishtamesh b'machshev. Use the computer. Next sentence here. Lama. Lama means why. Ata. Ata means you. Lo. Lo means no or not. In this case, same thing, right? And now here we got the present tense form. Mishtamesh. Lama ata lo mishtamesh. Why you know using. Why you know using.
Which is exactly why that's what Israeli sound like when they come here.
Yes.
To English.
Yes.
Just literally
It
translating
all
from
makes
Hebrew.
sense.
Yeah.
Why you not using not using bemachshev, right? Now the be here, we wouldn't translate it that way in English, right? But in Hebrew, that's how it works. Mishtamesh lama ta lo mishtamesh bemachshev, okay, or bamachshev, the computer. And now, if you want to say use it, you'd say same thing in head. Tishtamesh b'machshev. We replace the word machshev with the vav, and we get bo, right? That's what we get here. Tishtamesh bo. Use it. Right? It's the pronoun suffix. So, any questions about this one?
So like, again, no.
The
Okay.
B though, what was is the B server?
So
B
the
is added on?
the bed here, it's added because this is where in Hebrew you have to use this preposition with the verb, right? And that's just how it is, you know. But this is the preposition be, which means on, in, or with. It can mean
Okay.
different things.
So like the official imperative for Tishtamesh would be Tishtamesh.
It would be like nobody uses it, so I can't tell you, but it would be hishtamesh is what it would be, but in the imperative. It would be hishtamesh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like they use like the heat, but it's flipped
Yeah, it would be hishtorish, but it's, that's not really used in colloquial speech. Very rare,
Okay.
you know. It's, but it's the official form. And, it's used in writing. It would be used in writing. Although in writing you don't tend to use the imperative. Mostly you're speaking to someone, right? So it's not so common to see that form written. All right, next one. All right, we gotta wrap up soon. But we're only on number 4. Okay, let's go faster. Should I go faster? You trying to? No. Okay. We don't have to go through all of them. We can just.
Okay.
We'll end it.
Quality over quantity tonight.
Quality over quantity. Yeah. Quality over quantity. This time. So this one also, I got the way I wrote it in English was like the Hebrew word for word, and the word gave me, it underlined it for me. It said, this is grammar, this grammar's incorrect. But this is how it is in Hebrew. So I try to keep the same word order so that you start to think the way Hebrew speakers do. Now, this one, this preposition that we're going to look at now is the word kmo or ke, which are equivalent in meaning. Okay. 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 Anyone want to take a stab at reading this one? The first word is gam, in case you don't know that one. Gam means also, but it's common to put it in the beginning. So it comes out, also you speak Hebrew. Gam ata, so the question here is, do you also speak Hebrew like her? Right? Gam ata medaber ivrit kamoha. Now this word, so what we're seeing here, okay, so gam is also, ata, you, medaber, present tense of diber, which we saw previously. PL verb, meaning to speak. Ivrit, ivrit means Hebrew. So that's all pretty straightforward. Then we've got this word kamoha. So what's kamoha? Kamoha will be, you've got it here on your chart here. And this word can be used as just a letter k, just like this, k, by itself, like attached to the following word. Or it can be the full version, which is kmo. Okay, so those are two options that you have. So typically people don't use you can say either one really, but like it's common to say ke. Alright, now when you add the endings to it, you don't add the endings to ke. You only add the endings to kmo. You use this version with the ending, with the suffixes. And there are some forms here that are a little bit different, like the Ani form is kamoni. That's like an irregular form, I suppose, right? And then you've got the kamoha is the she form, right? Like her. So the ha here is representing her, like her. Okay? And then, so, now the response to that is lo, no, right? He, she, medaberet. So now you make it feminine. This is the same word as medaber, but feminine because you add the tav to make it feminine. It's the present tense form. So she speaks. He medaberet. And then kmo, which is just like the full form, like kamoha, just kmo. And then expert, mumchi. So that's the feminine form of expert. Masculine form would be mumche. So if you were to say this in the masculine, you would say, what if we switched all of this to masculine? Anybody want to try that? When I want to switch all the words to masculine, I would say, instead of her, instead of female, we talk about a guy now. We're going to say, do you also speak Hebrew like him? How would you say that? Like him. And then how would you respond to that? No, he speaks like an expert. How would you do that sentence? Anyone want to try that?
Gamata medaber ivrit kamo.
Kamohu. Yeah, good. And what would be the response?
Lo hu medaber kamo mumche.
Yeah, lo medbekum mumche. So does that make sense, Kate? And
Yeah.
We're just practicing here with the switching masculine and feminine. So, all right, I think that one makes sense unless any questions on that one. Okay, it's 8 o'clock now, so maybe we should end, or maybe we'll do one more. What do you say?
I have to get going.
Okay.
Zoom at 8:15.
So we're gonna end it here, and if there are no questions, we'll end it here. And you've got these sentences, you can look at the other 4, and if you have questions about it, you can ask me. Yeah,
I
that's
like
it.
this format of like applying other stuff.
Yeah, it's good. And then make
Yeah, I
them
try to
very-
give you some sentences and try to make you think, all right, what if I were to use it, and then how would I change it if I use it a little bit differently?
Yeah.
You know, and that's where it comes in, like you see, okay, these are where different forms come into play and stuff, so. All right, here's your,
Do you want me to?
no, it's yours,
I mean, I have. I
it's
don't.
all good.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Oh,
have,
sorry.
I have